You know that hollow sensation in the pit of your stomach when the little icon changes from a sent message to a seen notification in a matter of seconds, yet the typing bubbles never appear? You stare at the screen. You wait. You convince yourself they are busy, that they are in a meeting, or perhaps their phone slipped into the abyss of a sofa cushion. You check again 5 minutes later. Still nothing. An hour passes, then 3, then a full day. Suddenly, the person who used to flood your inbox with memes, late-night musings, and immediate responses has transformed into a ghost who only materializes at their own convenience. We tell ourselves convenient lies to patch up our bruised egos. We blame external circumstances, workload, or the complexity of their modern life. But deep down, in that quiet corner of your mind where you don't like to look, you know exactly what is happening. You aren't being ghosted because they are busy. You are being demoted because you are no longer the priority. It is a slow, cold erosion of relevance that you witness in real time, one unread message at a time, and it hurts because it is the most honest form of rejection possible. The cruelty of digital communication is that it provides a perfect laboratory for measuring the rise and fall of human interest. When someone is genuinely infatuated or deeply invested in a connection, time ceases to be a barrier. They will carve out seconds from a chaotic day just to send a thumbs up or a mundane update because the act of communicating with you is their dopamine hit. But interest is a finite resource, and it is rarely static. It is a tide. It either comes in or it goes out. When you feel that tide pulling away, your natural instinct is to swim harder. You start overanalyzing your last message. Did you sound too eager? Too boring? Too demanding? You craft elaborate follow-ups that feel like desperate pleas for validation wrapped in the guise of casual conversation. You double text. You post stories hoping they see them, hoping they notice the gap in the conversation, and feel a flicker of guilt. But here is the bitter truth. The more you chase, the faster they retreat. The speed of a reply is inversely proportional to the amount of effort you exert to get it. When you make yourself too available, you strip away the mystery and the value of your presence. You become the background noise in their life, rather than the melody. Look at your own behavior. Think about the people you truly value, the ones who command your respect or capture your fascination. Do you let their messages sit for 3 hours? Do you see them and then go about your business without a second thought? Of course not. You make time for what matters to you. Everyone has the same 24 hours, and everyone has the same distraction-filled pocket device. If they aren't replying, it is not because they cannot find the time, it is because they have chosen not to spend it on you. This isn't a failure of their time management, it is a clear ranking of their priorities. And the most painful part of this realization is that the transition is rarely abrupt. It starts with a slower reply time, a shift from paragraphs to emojis, a move from engaging questions to one-word dead ends. It is a systematic withdrawal, a way of signaling that you are losing your seat at the table. You are being pushed to the periphery, and they are hoping you will take the hint and leave quietly so they don't have to be the bad guy. It is a form of social gaslighting. They keep you on the hook just enough to ensure you're still there, providing the validation they crave whenever they're bored or lonely, but never enough to actually satisfy the connection. You are being treated as a placeholder, a warm body in the digital queue. Every time you stare at that seen icon and wonder why they haven't typed back, you are effectively consenting to be treated as an option rather than a necessity. You have granted them the power to dictate the rhythm of your emotional state. They send a message and you are elated. They stay silent and you are plunged into self-doubt. You have handed the steering wheel of your self-worth to someone who is busy looking at someone else's profile. The irony is that the more you complain about the lack of communication, the more you confirm their suspicion that they have outgrown you. People are drawn to those who are occupied with their own lives, not those who are standing by the door waiting for the latch to click. Stop looking for excuses for their behavior. There are no excuses that justify making someone you care about feel invisible. When you stop chasing, the silence becomes loud. It either forces them to realize they are losing their grip on you, or it reveals that they were already gone a long time ago. Either way, you regain your dignity. The reality is that you are not a victim of their busy schedule. You are a victim of your own refusal to accept that the dynamic has shifted. You are holding onto a version of them that no longer exists, a version that cared enough to reply instantly. That person is dead, or at least, they are dead to you. To keep knocking on a door that is being slowly closed from the inside is a waste of your finite energy. The best thing you can do when the response time stretches into hours is to stop looking at the screen entirely. Go build a life that requires your focus to be elsewhere. When you are genuinely busy with your own growth, you stop noticing who is or isn't replying. And coincidentally, that is exactly when the messages start arriving again. Accepting this truth is the first step toward reclaiming your time and your peace. You must realize that your value does not fluctuate based on the speed of a digital response. If you are sitting there waiting, you have already lost the game. You are placing your happiness in the hands of someone who is already checked out. It is time to stop being the one who waits. Silence is not always a lack of interest. Sometimes, it is the loudest answer you will ever get. It is an answer that says, I am no longer willing to put you first. Once you hear that, Once you really listen to the silence instead of trying to fill it with your own anxiety, you will find an incredible sense of liberation. You will stop being the person who checks the phone every 5 minutes and start being the person who doesn't check it at all. The shift is not about them anymore. It is about your own boundaries and your own standard for how you deserve to be treated. The realization is simple but heavy. You can either beg for their attention, or you can command respect by withdrawing yours. You cannot force someone to see your worth if they are blinded by the convenience of having you around without the obligation of reciprocating. Let them be silent. Let the messages sit. Let the distance grow until it is so wide that it doesn't matter anymore. By accepting the reality of the delay, you stop the bleeding of your self-respect. You realize that the person you were chasing was never worth the anxiety you suffered to keep them. When the seen notification finally stops feeling like a punch to the gut, you have finally grown up. You have moved past the need to be the priority in a story where you were merely a guest character. The final truth is that someone who truly values you will never leave you guessing about where you stand. If they are making you wait, they are telling you exactly how much they think you are worth. Believe them the first time. You wait for a reply they never intended to send. They wait for a version of you that no longer exists.